I think we found another. Get ready.
Hi everybody, it's me, Gatsby, from Gatskin, and it's probably no shocker that like millions of other people on the planet here, I do quite enjoy those funny little pocket monsters. Pokemon, if you will. And with Pokemon now being 30 years old, I thought it'd be fun to take a nice chill walk down memory lane and tell you some standout memories from my childhood when it comes to the Pokemon franchise and me. The art I will be drawing is just some of my favorite Pokemon and then human characters from the Pokemon franchise. If you happen to see any of your favorites, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, maybe think about liking, subscribing, hyping the video as well. I have a goal of hopefully making it to 10K by the end of the year, and I'm pretty much a fifth of the way there, so I think if we all lock in, we could do it. Thank you for watching, and let's get into this thing. I think the best way for me to begin this is to go into my family a little bit, right? I am the youngest of 3 siblings. I have an older sister who is 10 years older than me, and a brother who's not even a full year older. He was born on August 16th, 1999. I'm August 8th, 2000. So yeah, that's not even a full year. And my parents, they were both teachers while I was growing up. So we weren't exactly poor, but we didn't have a lot of money to throw around either. So video games and the like were not a thing for a lot of my early childhood. It's just something we didn't invest in. But despite that, I've pretty much always loved Pokemon. My sister having been there for ground zero of the original Pokemania, despite not playing the games herself either. She just had a whole bunch of merch she just happened to collect from that time, like the Talking Pikachu plush, other various Pokemon knickknacks that she would pass down to us as she went into teenagerdom, and my brother and I started to gain sentience as children. Of course, my brother and I, we would always try to watch the anime whenever we could on Cartoon Network. When the anime started to go into Hoenn and then later Sinnoh, when the contests were a thing, my brother and I, we thought the Pokemon contests were super cool and awesome. And we would have so many in-depth conversations about like possible move combinations. One that really sticks out in my memory was us trying to think of like how to combine like ice and grass moves to try and recreate like frost on the ground when it's cold out. And in all honesty, guys, I didn't realize Pokemon was a video game till I was like 6 years old, and I saw a kid from my karate class playing one of the Hoenn games on his GBA. And at that point, I'm pretty sure my brother was like already aware Pokemon was a video game on the account that not only was he older than me, but he was also a lot smarter. And once I found out Pokemon was a video game, there was nothing more that I wanted than to play the video game myself. My brother, too, also had the same desire, but the combination of our family not having that much disposable income, as well as the reasoning from my parents that we were quote-unquote not responsible enough, we were barred from any type of Nintendo handheld. But we weren't barred from Pokemon forever, video game-wise. Sometime, 2007 I want to say, during the summer, my dad comes home one day, out of the blue, with a used Nintendo Wii that had Wii Sports and Wii Play. And this was our family's first ever game console of like any type, and that was mind-blowing to me. Motion controls? Sign me up! All the hours we spent playing Wii Sports and Wii Play. We'd get other video games also further on. One that really sticks out in memory was Rayman Raving Rabbids. That was one we would sink a lot of hours into, not just us as a family, but my brother. He had a lot of friends in our neighborhood. They would come over and like play with us too. Anyways, later down the line, I guess we did good enough in school. our dad brought us to the local GameStop. And I don't know how I was able to convince him. Maybe the two of us agreed to share this one game, or I don't know what. I had convinced him to get a Wii game that had Pokemon on it. And that was Pokemon Battle Revolution for the Nintendo Wii. Of course, at the time when I got it, I didn't know that because we didn't have any Pokemon to transfer in from the DS games, we would be stuck with the rental Pokemon. That didn't matter at the time because it was a Pokemon game on the Nintendo Wii. I could play Pokemon. And me and my brother, we loved that game. That became another staple in our household, especially after my brother was able to get one of his friends to transfer over some of the Pokemon. He didn't want as much into the game. We would spend a lot of hours just playing against each other, like setting up various team combinations from the Pokemon we had available. I would spend a lot of time just making like trainer characters from the customization options. I would always get stuck from like the player campaign, like the single player, get stuck at Neon Coliseum because like the spinning wheel mechanic, I could never get the Pokeballs to land on the Pokemon I wanted. I think my brother got further along in it than I did. But just the music and the announcer for that game, there's just so much like nostalgia and just for the sound design in that game. God, I still have the same game to this day. I just no longer have a Wii to play it. So maybe that's one of the things I need to like get in order one day where I get a Wii and pop that bad boy back in there. That'd be a lot of fun. My brother would also get into the trading card game pretty soon after or around the same time, if not before, because we had neighbors, these two teenagers who they were really into Pokemon, and we'd also go over to their house sometimes to borrow their VHS tapes. So they would like show us their Pokemon related stuff. I know one time when Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, one of them was like telling me his really intricate plan to trade himself all 3 starters. It was confusing to me then. I can't comprehend it now. But it was because of, Johto being in like the Pokemon zeitgeist at that time. One of the hypotheticals my brother and I would imagine was us both each getting our own DS. He would get Soul Silver, I would get Heart Gold, and then we would trade and battle with each other. One of those little what-ifs scenarios we think about a lot. And even though, my brother would try really hard to get me in the trading card game, there would be multiple times he'd try to teach me how to play, but despite his best attempts, I just couldn't get it. To this day, I've tried to teach myself. It never sticks in my mind. I still loved the trading card game just because I loved looking at the art. But also like the little blurbs at the bottom, like little Pokedex descriptions. Those were really fun too. My brother went on to build a fire type deck. It had a lot of, fire types like Torchic, Arcanine, Charizard was probably in there, or at least Charmeleon and Charmander. There was also, we had a lot of the Delta species cards from that era of like, the end of, like the tail end of Hoenn. And a lot of those Delta species cards, I still have them. They still really stick out in my memory. I also got a boost in our card collection because I had a friend at the time who gifted me her brother's Pokemon cards that he no longer wanted, or at least I hope that's what happened. This girl, slight tangent here, that I was friends with, I did not like her. We didn't stay friends for super long because, how do I put this? She liked the stuff we had as opposed to wanting to actually be my friend. One thing she would do, she would come over for a sleepover. We would be asleep. She'd wake up in the middle of the night, eat our food without asking. She'd go through, like, play our Wii, watch my dad's copy of Happy Gilmore, do all this stuff without us knowing. And we only found out because she went on later to tell me that she was doing that, and I was just kind of disturbed by that. I don't know. Is that weird? Is that weird? Like, if maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know. Just the fact that, why do this while we were asleep? Couldn't you just ask? She'd also steal like clothes from my older sister, so that didn't help her case either. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is that I had this fear for the longest time that she just stole her brother's Pokemon cards and just gave them to me for some reason. It's just one of those things I've kind of had to live with because I don't know how to resolve that. I guess I still live in fear partially that one of these days, like Officer Jenny's just gonna like kick down my door and be like, "Pokemon police, put your hands up!" And then she's gonna like send out Growlithe and then Growlithe is just gonna like bite my arm off or something. There's a lot more Pokemon, memories I have from childhood that I wish I could go into. I wish I could just call up my brother and ask him for anything that sticks out in his memory, because I know he would have a lot. I feel a little bit disingenuous in this video, because for a good portion of it, I've been referring to my brother in the present tense, like he was still alive, when he's not. He's dead. He's been dead for 15 years now, as of early February. When he died in 2011, it was very sudden. He was here one day, gone the next. I still don't fully understand how it happened myself, but from my memory, he had developed leukemia without us realizing it. I can't be certain on what type it was. I remember a nurse telling us, I think she said it was APL. I can't be certain. That's just my memories from, the day. But yes, he had leukemia. We did not realize he had leukemia. We went to school one day like any other day. We were in separate grades, of course, since he was older than me, but during his recess, he went to the restroom, passed out in the bathroom, hit his head on the floor. This caused internal bleeding to the brain, but because he had leukemia, his body could not stop the bleeding, so he died. And when he passed, we made sure, among many things, that he get buried in an orange casket. Because my brother, that was his favorite color, and I think that's one reason why he loved fire types so much, is because a lot of them, were orange. And then my father, he also went out of his way. He went through like his cards that my brother had and pulled out one of his Pokemon cards and made sure he was buried with it in his casket. And I know it was a Growlithe, because I do remember Growlithe and Arcanine were definitely up there with some of his like favorite Pokemon. And I don't remember which Growlithe card exactly. I'm pretty sure it was the one from Secret Wonders. Looking at that card, that just feels like that was the one it was. But the passage of time, it always blurs the memory, so I can't be certain. And even after all these years, I have a bit of a complicated relationship with the memory of my brother, for reasons I'd rather not get into. But I try to remember my brother in positive ways. I miss him. I do miss him as much as it's awkward for me to miss him. And I do wish, like a lot of people who have lost loved ones, that I could have been around with him longer. But, you just have to keep living. That's life. You lose somebody and they're just gone and you live with it. That being said, if he was alive still, I just know he would have loved Tyrantrum. Okay, he loved dinosaurs. That is like the most dinosaur Pokemon. He would have loved that guy. And that's the thing. Nothing lasts forever. Whether it's your brother or, a multimedia franchise worth billions of dollars, it's going to end. It's got to end. And there's going to come a day where Pokemon, they're just going to announce one day that this is it. No more. And I'd like that to be far away from now. We've had 30 years of Pokemon. I'd like there to be at least 30 more. But regardless of how long a Pokemon will be with us into the future, I'll never take for granted what Pokemon has given me. Just the ability to be able to start a conversation and connect with anyone, regardless of, who they are, where they're from. And I think one of my goals in life is to make more friends via Pokemon. I don't really talk about this much, but I'm very much a homebody. I'm very like socially anxious. But seeing like the joy and like community like Pokemon brings people, it just, man, I can't get enough. I still, to this day, like the main Pokemon theme, you know, the dun 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 dun. Like, oh my gosh, here I am tearing up now just thinking about it. I'm like Lysander over to here. Pokemon. It's something I want to have with me for the rest of my life, even if I'm not the best at it, even if I get scared to talk to other people about it. I love Pokemon. I think I will continue to love Pokemon for a very long time. So thank you, Pokemon. Thank you so much. Happy 30th. This was a little bit of a weird video for me. At the end there, I got really off script and started to tear up a little bit too, which was really awkward. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I'm trying to make it to 10K by the end of the year. And I'm like a fifth of the way there, so I think we can make it, guys. So please subscribe, it'd mean the world to me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, even though they aren't real, we all live in a Pokemon world. This is Gatsby from Gatskin, signing out.